Hello out there, James here. Hope you all having a good day, good evening. And I have another subject I want to talk about, and it's something that really probably have a lot of other people who are non-black wondering why do black people like want to separate which I made on my last video. Why it is calling for separation of people, and have we moved farther now? That one of the questions that most people come across. And how come things can't be let go of the past? There's some people they want to ask this question. Hopefully, hold on. They want to ask this question on if how come the past can't be let go? And most people wondering, well, having the civil rights did the Martin Luther Kings, the freedom riders, and different people like that, the people coming from the north going down to the south to get voting rights for people who were at that time in the 60s that could not vote based on the color of their skin. Is we arrive at equal rights that they feel that at that time just a person based on their position in companies that have we arrived that usually even though it was legislation that was law that was passed that you have to hire somebody based on the color of their skin in original their origin and disability, their sexual orientation. Now, how we arrive? Yes, in them regards, people of sexual orientation we arrive, people with disability we arrive, age discrimination to a certain degree we have arrived to a certain degree with color of a person's skin. In a religious organizations, we have a certain degree to arrive. But at the cost of it, there has been a lot of bloodshed. There has been a lot of resentment. There has been laws in place and active of other laws based on bloodshed. Whose bloodshed, you might respond? The one group of people that suffer the most atrocities, the people that continually to suffer the atrocities that in America based on the condition of where they reside at. Even though there's a certain percentage of people that out of these group of people that are put into position of being the first person of color in the police chief, being the first color of a president of a bank, being the first color of these things. Yeah, that made it for arena for that. But it was selected by individuals that they had to pay through their education. And education is good and is really good. The education is equally for everybody. But even if once you get the education, once you get the training, you still are up under a system where the individual, if they have some kind of hidden bias, they can easily make your life a living hell. How can they do that? Because now they can find another way to discriminate against you by saying that your credit isn't up, we can legally not hire you because your credit. That's why if you look on an application, it's like, why would a job want to know your credit rating? But that's a loophole for them not to hire you, because now that you know that majority of the people in the country, that is, things happen, they lose their job and unable to pay their bills, and their credit get kind of messed up, or it could be because they got a divorce or anything like that. Their credit could be messed up. But they throw a loophole in that, and they did the credit rating based on race too. Yes, they did the credit rating in the banking institution based on race, on what group of people likely to be more in debt, what group of people like to owe more in bills and collection and things. So they got slick with that. Then, so they put up a barrier, and then they have high risk loans, high interest rate for people who don't have good credit. They'll give you credit, but since you need a cosigner, that's another form of you have to pay higher interest rate than the regular people that do. And they know that a certain demographic of people don't have good credit because they live next to their impoverished condition. And the majority of these people out of the population are not going to have good credit based on race. They based on race on certain people that get elements. Certain people that get elements like high blood pressure, hypertension, cholesterol, or any kind of elements, they base it on race. The medical community, one of the things they do, they base it on race. They base it on race in the educational good school system. This group of children are not likely to have more attention deficit than this children. They have more problems. Therefore, the severely difference with even though children act up, but they have to be harsher on these children based on race. And they're more likely to suspend. Data has showed that they suspend these group of people at a higher rate for the same behavior than other groups of people at a higher rate. They are likely to be at a higher incarceration rate based on race. They're likely to be in more impoverished condition that create the bad schooling for the children and create a situation bad for high incarceration rate, create the situation because their credit score is not at a certain level, create a creation rate when they don't have the job skills, the trade skills. And at one time, in the inner city, like there was in the suburbs when I grew up, in the inner city back in the early 80s, they had vocational training. Now, in too many inner cities, they don't have vocational training for these selected group of people. The dropout rate is high among this selected group of people. But at the same time, so the food, and it comes down to the agriculture, the food is at a higher in the inner city. The corner stores that sell these 3 or 4 day old items, meats and breads, and then the children have fast food that they have a high imbalance of things because they're in poverty. And some of it, when you take the balance, even though there's other groups of people that are in the same impoverished rate where these group of people come from, they're likely going to die of these elements that plays into the high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, and that leads to all the serious element. Then so now that they know that there's an element, they design a certain medication based on race, and they know that the pharmaceutical company know that there was a medication that based on race, that there were people of this nationality was going to have deadly results. It can affect the immune system after a while. That could lead to the greater death. And based on race, and all this came up under the civil rights. All this came up under Jim Crow. Jim Crow. All this. What people are they trying to wipe off the planet? Which one of all the races of people what person they're trying to wipe out that I just described all their conditions to. What people they're trying to get off the planet of all the people in poverty. The first people that's in poverty is black people. That what I described to you. The black people shedding the black on black blood has to come to pass to control the population. See, you hear this terminology, white supremacy. It's a systematic white supremacy. And that's what I described to you earlier. That's the systematic white supremacy. Now here comes the time to play on. So now they infect the environment around them. They affect their water, their living conditions, and even in the inner city that created the ghettos. Even though there were other people that had ghettos, but they were able to come out of the ghettos in the 20s and the 30s. The Irish, the Italians, and the Jewish people were able to come out of the ghettos. But the black people and the people like Puerto Ricans and people like that remain in the ghettos, only to suffer and take whatever the conditions that they are, because they were like the Hebrew children of the Bible. They just spread out and have greater numbers. So they find out they were having greater numbers. So they come up with another system called welfare. Welfare was a situation where you take the children out of the home. You take the dad out of the home, and it'd be single mothers. You put the male against the female, and that the woman is left to raise the children. This was done systematically, and therefore so the woman relies on the government that she don't need this man no more. And so this is what they did to the black woman. And they told the black woman, we'll supply all the things that we'll put you through school, but you keep that black man away. And don't worry, we'll get support off of him. Then they decide, just like any other group of men, that if you don't pay child support, you go to jail. And that was a second way at a higher incarceration rate. Now you're going to jail. So if you're a black male who have children and you're not paying your child support, and you go to jail like any other male, you got it on your record. Now they make it harder for you to go and get a job because what you been to jail for? Child support. In some case, because you've been to jail, they might assume that you are a violent or a criminality to do something desperate. In some cases, and some companies will look over that. Depends on what you got on your record. And like your white counterparts, they can have the same kind of record. So here's the interesting question. You said, well, there's affirmative action, James. There's affirmative action, and you have the ACLU, and you have and all these other organizations, NAACP. Yes, you do. That end up and they all got together, but there has to be but it was a governing body of people. The blacks were pushed forward, but you had to look who's behind the blacks, who's behind the organizations, because this is what Malcolm X said about the liberal, and there was a sector of liberals, and the sectors of liberals said this, keep these blacks. And this came from Democrat President Lyndon B. Johnson, voting Democrat. And at the fight of voting Democrat, you keep them in poverty for the next 200 to 300 years. So there was a cost. So the condition is being paid. But say, wait a minute. There's blacks. There's blacks that they're a black person that's running an organization. Yeah, it looks like that. They're paid to keep the quota status the way they are. The police is to contain, patrol, and annihilate. Under political reasons. That's why you see so much death in the inner city. So the organizations that's supposed to be are fact, but this is what the Holy Spirit showed me one time. The God showed me this, and I said, well, God, equal rights, right, for everybody. And the myth was that that white people were not going to be a part of the equation. But some black people articulately said this. They come back into the picture later on. Because it's not just exclusive for other people or just for non-white people. White people figured out a way to come back into the picture. How did they come back into the picture? Women's rights. Because at the time in the 20s and 30s, women were being, as opposite sex, were being discriminated against. So white women took the forefront of being voters' rights and things like that. So there had to be a voters' rights during that time, and I think it was in the 20s or the 30s. I think it was in the 30s or 40s. I'm not mistaken. So you have a woman, the white female, was part of the women's right. Then he said all women came around it, the black women, the red women, the brown women, the yellow women, all women supposed to come up. But basically, the white woman was part of the civil rights. So now you have white women just based on business. But here's the thing about it was, who birthed the white male? It was the white woman. So now, the business loans and all the other things that the accolades from the government goes up under the white woman, but still have the white husband and the white son when you base it on color. And now that sexual orientation kicked in, the white people come through the door again. How is that they coming through the door? There are people who are transgender. How is that? Based on the blood of what you're seeing right now. How is that possible? Because now the white male can claim that he's turned into a female, but he's really a male. Secondly, as he can say that he's such, and some white male can say that they're gay, and you cannot discriminate against them based on that. Thanks to the civil rights organization. Just like any other gay person of any other ethnic origin, the white male comes back into the picture, and the female comes back into the picture and claim the civil rights from the other, which was made for the rights of other people under religion, disability, and things like that. So they come back into the picture and say, wait a minute. But now they say you can't. But if you specifically say for a certain demographic of people, wait a minute, you discriminate against me. Say, wait a minute, how I'm discriminating against you? Because why? Well, do you fit the criteria? They can say, do you fit the criteria? And someone can say, yeah, they're bisexual. They're intersectionality. They're gay men, a lesbian woman, a transgender woman. They come back through the same tunnel and build up neighborhoods, grants, loans, proper credit system, and teach them whatever it is. This is what the Supreme Court did. So they gave them the properation of the LGBT community to teach whatever it is to be, how two men and two women have able to have relationships, to kids that are as young as 6, 7 years old, and how do they come together and be men and men and women and women. And they're teaching this in the schools in different parts of the country of the United States of America. So based on that, so you're saying, what are you trying to get at, James? Based on the sacrifice black people are still crying about, and saying that none of these other things, everything benefit everybody else. The immigrants came on in from different parts of the world, can slide up under the minority system. So it could be a wealthy Chinese person can come up and slide up under the minorities. It could be a person who is of a European Jewish descent, slide under a religious organization, slide up in the civil rights organization. It could be someone that come up under the Middle Eastern, what we can say is people, they can say that they're Muslim. We got to slide up on an organization under the civil and religious right. Could be disability, because you can't discriminate. According to the ACLU, according to the NAACP, and they would defend it. It's national. They can't defend that. That's national. It's a civil rights organization. Controlled with the benefit of black, but had a situation with the government to defend, and you, as a, can't keep them out, and they can go to the NAACP because someone. Well, I thought it was just for black people. It's up on a government organization, government or a non-profit organization that's connected to the government. This is what, so black people, so you probably was wondering, what was Grandmaster Jay was saying, like, we are black owned, black only, black this, because Grandmaster Jay of the non fucking around coalition knew that he saw the law concerning this. That's why the man ran for president, and he had the intelligence enough to interpret everything what it was. That's why he told reporters, no, we're not. We have to deal with our own people. It's nothing against really hating other people, despising other people, and talking bad, but there's a segment of people, whether they're the nucleus family of a black man, black women, and black child is being slaughtered in the streets of America. The black man, that black woman is getting taken advantage of, and these are the majority of things what I've listed earlier are happening to the black man, the black woman, and the black child, and even the black elderly people are probably going through some type of abuse. Facts number two. So what they did was they got slick, and they come to and say, what can we contribute, donate to you? Because whatever we donate to you, we dictate what you have to give to us. That's why when you accept donations of people's money, you become, they can dictate what they want you to determine. Well, how is it? Because I contribute to your organization. So this is what happened. But it was under the bloodshed of abortion, under the bloodshed of young people dying in the streets, what you see in the inner city, under the bloodshed, if it's caused by another young man, a young woman, under the bloodshed of someone who represents the state, is the law enforcement. So this is what happened. So when Grandmaster Jay said, we need to hold on, we need to figure this thing out, we need to remove ourselves as a people, because if we don't remove ourselves as something is going on. So spiritually, where you have to connect and engage and remove yourself what they call a Babylonian system, because that's what the Babylonian system, what I mentioned to you earlier. It said, yeah, but we require blood from your community, require death from your community to further our causes. That's what the Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and all those people. There was a black person death, brutal death, unimaginable death that sparked something. But there's a certain people that will bring out what the same people will say, we'll march in front of you, be the parking speak. And say, we want, and you hear all the chanting, but someone's going to try to get to the top, will manipulate it again, and say, okay, all of a sudden, we'll give them a black police chief. We'll give them we don't want to be, wait, this what's going on, America? You being racist? No. We'll put a black president out there. We'll put a black police chief out there. We'll put a black governor out, because it's a way of do and reflect. But they're going to have our talking points, and they have to defend it. Now, who would back up something like that? Based on a party, Democrats. Who is funny getting money, certain organizations like that? Black Lives Matter. And even though the face were three black women who really, by sexuality, are based on sexuality for people who are homosexuals, gays, lesbians, transgender, even though that they're black. But now the thing is based on sexuality. But the people in the skin color get destroyed and mutilated. But we'll save them because they're not a threat. They're not a threat to produce black children. And if they produce black children, the black children become the sacrifice. How did they become the sacrifice in the educational school system? How did they become sacrifice? Through the situation that happened up in Flint, Michigan, that there was documented proof that the poor children in the community, that there was a 10% white, 90% black, going to have a slow learning deficiency rate. Going to have, in other words, so that's all that lead's going to go through their body by water. Slow efficiency rate. So that slowed them down. Now it goes up to all people. Put vaccines in them. Start with the poverty of community. Slow the rate down. So you take all these vaccines based on class. Why are they doing this, James? There's too many people on welfare. But we can't. There's too many people is costing money for the government. There's too many people on Medicare. There's too many people, and it's just all these poor people. There's just too many poor people that's in the world. So they got to figure out the way to slowly solve the problem. Whether they put it in your water, or you can get medication. And you've seen the results of it. Then you don't find out till later on, until someone does an autopsy or whatever. This is all facts, folks. This is a fact. But there has to be. But this land, the reason why it can't get no peace, the reason why it is cursed, and they said, well, we blessed. The people who have a relationship with the Most High God is blessed. The ones who live under His mercy is blessed. But as a land, right now, we're not blessed. Look at what's going around. When you take something out of His Word And the government be, rewrites his word and say that the churches are don't tell these certain things. This is what they told to the slaves. Don't teach on these certain things, or then if you do, we'll lock you up. We'll take your funding away from you. Now what? Little do our plan to sacrifice more blood. Babies. Why is so much abortion rate? Well, the reason why there's so much abortion rate because, we don't want nobody. If some woman gets raped, like how many women get pregnant? And there's unfortunately that do get raped, but what is the chances of? What is the certain percentage of women are coming out of being raped, getting pregnant? Show me where is the status on it, where it can produce a rape that would lie. And don't we believe that even though the baby might have a purpose, even though it's not a rape, there was, if you look in the Bible, there was some children were born out of circumstances, but he didn't allow them to die because that person had a purpose in the earth that he will later correct. But man wants to do what man wants to play God. So, as the results of abortion, target the same community, and told them, "We'll give you free funding, free medical treatment, whatever you need, free food, free benefits if you abort your child." We don't want too many of these blacks overpopulating, because they're going to overpopulate the world. How are they going to overpopulate, James? If you keep having these black women, then their children are going to run rampant into the street. If they're going to run rampantly, we're going to have people that, and this is what kind of excuse they're making up. They're making up this kind of excuse because the hatred is deep, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the way they think. And they pretend like they're your friend, but they really are not your friend. If you don't believe me, I challenge you to get on your hands and knees and pray and ask the Most High God, what is I'm saying, telling the truth. Well, don't we have these organizations are supposed to prevent that? No, they coincide with it. Only for the ones that are outside the womb, but there's no fight for the ones that's coming to the women, for the future babies before they become a life of a human being, whether it be a male or female, whether however it's coming through the womb, kill the creation. So it's 35 million women in poverty throughout the United States look like this. Majority by facts have a higher abortion rates. Is the curses you see out there that's coming from the west to the east. The fires are not stopping. 35 million babies are coming to heaven that the Most High God put into the earth. That the legislation of the government said because they're in poverty, they must be put to death. At the results of it revved up. The fires are revving up. Now it's costing lives. Now it's costing. In the midst of the fire, a pandemic has raised up. And now it's taking life. In the midst of the fire, a plague has, another famine, pestilence has raised up. Anybody was being aware that there was something called murder hornets? They sting you. They don't want to report about that, so you have an insect that's killing off the bees, that they sting a human being, they can paralyze them, and they can feel like they're about ready to die. As a result of this happening, coming in the United States. If the results of it, that the fire keeps raging in California, Oregon, Washington State, and the different coasts, this is what's happening. People are getting respiratory conditions. Now you have COVID-19, you got the flu on the rise, and you got respiratory conditions starting in the western parts of the United States. Therefore, people are suffering, and this life is taken from all walks of life. And people thinking that they're going to they ran to the woods to escape the plagues. Now, the plague of the fire is coming up to the woods. The plague of COVID-19 is coming through the woods. The plague is coming through the woods. That's why you're hearing so much death from this government. But it's what the government did to its people. It's the government that tried to come and craft this. At the same time, people from all walks of life is being persecuted. The land is getting scorched. The farmers are saying, "Can you give us more money? We need, because our crops are losing, and by the crops are losing, that's why the food shortage is coming." And when you know the West Coast, based on this help to another entity, the USDA. So this affect them well, because that's where you get your fruit. That's where you get all your other vegetables up and down, all the different vegetables and fruit from some parts of the West Coast. Then it's to the point that they put sanctions on China to the point that they can't bring in their food. So therefore, the curse is hit the land. Food shortage it hit the land. Water problem, getting short of water. And you remember how the way it was? That's how what I'm saying, wrapping all this up to, it was all done off of the blood of innocent people. But even though there's every walks of life of innocent people are suffering and going to death, and this thing is going to be worse than what we see in 9/11. You think 9/11 was something? Look what's happening now. There are more people that they're trying to project to put to death, and they don't even care. But at the same time, what they're trying to do is that the sinister to come, and that's the next step. People have been telling people this for years, but they've been labeled as conspiracy. They've been labeled as loony. Then people have to pull up the facts, and they try to take it off of video. They try to take it off of YouTube. They try to take it off of Facebook. They try to take it off of Twitter. But the truth is going to get out there one way or the other. Because once it's out there, the truth, you can't stop the truth. Sorry. You can strike a video, take it down, but the truth is you can't reach people, because the truth is going to get to the people. They're trying to limit the truth. You cannot stop the truth, especially when it comes to lives. And some people who are unknowingly don't understand the full effects. Everything was sacrificed on the blood of one of the groups of people. Now it's spreading to other groups of people. They're dying for the unjust cause. Why do you see the protesting? Why do you see the rioting? Why are you seeing these things? What's with all the anger? Because they never wanted to go away. Someone is benefiting off of racism. So how can they benefit off of racism? Look what's happening. The media is getting higher ratings. The lawyers is getting paid. Even though the system and the police is getting the ones who's doing the thing when it comes to law enforcement, they have the unions backing them up and help them get to another police department, keep their peace officers' license. They don't want racism, man. Do you have a candidate is just trying to say the right thing? They're using this for their political reasons. But the blood is always going to be sacrificed. The no matter, and no one has to come forth to speak this thing. No one's not going to slow down the abortion rate. So future people can come to be the future people are going to solve the problems that God's was supposed to raise into the earth. People were supposed to come forth to solve the world's problem, but they listened to the evil one. They said, kill the messenger, kill it out of the church, kill it out among the race of people who have a righteous spirit. This is what's going on. It has to be under the ancient governments of Rome, the ancient governments of Greece, the ancient government of Babylon, the ancient governments of Baal. And this is what they attract people at the message, the true message, at a true church is trying to tell people. But it gets blocked out. Oh, that's just that Christian stuff. And you say, oh my God, can you believe this is happening? But you didn't want to listen to the church, remember? They was too religious-fied. You didn't want to listen to the people when they got a word from God. I'm a Baptist, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Presbyterian, I'm a non-Orthodox. I believe in Homoshulu and or whatever. I don't believe. And you got some people. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in God. But yet, they seen all these things happen around them, and they can't. They're trying. Why? You have people that. So God sent people to tell you why. He's like, oh, that's just religion. I don't want to hear no religious stuff. That's religious stuff. Oh, I don't want to hear that stuff. I'm gonna go out there and do what I'm gonna do. Forget the mask. I'm gonna go around and just dance and dance. What you mean I got COVID-19? I didn't think it was gonna happen to me. I'm too young. I got a lot going on for me. The next thing you know, you're in the hospital. This came from that. All this led to sacrifice of blood. So you want individuals that is up under the pandemic. The pandemic is up under the curse. That's led to the results and going to the hospital. And it's equal. And this thing is equal. Don't matter. The pandemic is equal, but yet America try to make it seem like this population is gonna get it more than this population based on race, not based on conditions of they already have health problems. Because any person can have, smoking problems, lung problems, respiratory viral infections, high blood pressure, and all these other things. But before they did that, before they say all these things, they make it as a race. We got to curse these people. Put them in the facts. African Americans going to die from this. African Americans going because they have this condition. That's what the stat says. And so if you African and you receive that, like, oh man, well that's what the doctor said. When the reality of it is everybody's dying. I was thinking about something funny, how they say African Americans are likely to get high blood pressure and think, okay, then that one case we might as well take half the African Americans off the sports team. It was based on race and genetics. Because is that what they say? So it's like, damn, forget, I don't know, all those black players on the NBA team, the NFL team, the college team, the baseball team, wherever you see black people on the sports team. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're likely to have high blood pressure. Why? Because based on your race. Why you make this thing about race? You just told me it's race. So every African American person get based on race. See? and they put this Minecraft over you, and it's like they're wishing it on you, and hoping you receive it. And so when you receive it, it entertain now you got that on your mind. Then it manifests because you're worried about it, because they keep speaking it over you. And basically, when reality, the condition of people is based on, let's say high blood pressure, hypertension, lack of exercise, which could be anybody, not eating right, which could be anybody, lack of not eating the right things, not exercising, it could be individually, genetically, individually in their family. That's why they want to know your bloodline. That's why they always ask you, with any person, regardless of race, color, creed, what's in your, did your mother have it, your father have it, your grandmother, grandfather, uncle, great-grandfather have it? Because they can trace it to the bloodline. So why is they making it about race? Why are they making it about race? You know why they want to make it about race? Because it's got to be some kind of agenda. That even if they put the disparity among races of people, no matter what the situation with the medical, whether it's in a criminal course, the medical course, or anything else, they make a racial disparity. And they said this percentage of people do this more than this percentage of people, more than this percentage of people. Now, despite what the medical, despite what the court situation, they make it about race. No other country make their stuff about race. I never seen it. The COVID-19, I've seen it in their countries. They didn't start going down the line about what different ethnic backgrounds is it. They say people in this country of Italy, this country of France, this country of whatever is suffered under the condition. This part, but we're in America is the only people. Yes, we have every group of people on the planet, but yet psychologically we try to deny. Yeah, we get all diversity of people, but why are we making it about race? Why are we not making it about countrymen? Why is the same demographic of people that the media keep painting over and over and over and over again that these people are really violent people, and they know that the image is powerful, and they control the image, they control the media, they control what the image is. So they keep this thing going, because it's like we want them, but we hate them. It's crazy. It's the most asinine thing. That then you have people that's trying to. It was a case recently where a woman who tried to pass her off as black, trying to get to an organization that's saying that she's black. That's insane. Why would you want to pose yourself as black? You got people that want to take the music of black people and they want to put it in their own way. Kill off the one, but we'll take the music and we'll mimic them. We'll reproduce some of our own to make it. We'll pick up their rhythm. We'll pick up their vibe. Everything. We'll take the, and when it comes down to it, we're going to put it into their bloodline. We're going to race and put our history with it. If we have to go to the continent of Africa, Negro land, and say, yeah, we write the history, and if they get a chance to get to some of ancient civilization, say, yeah, Europe was the first Europeans with this, the first Europeans with that. This is what they do. That's what they're doing over in Egypt, and you see they trying to rewrite history. This thing is deep. This thing even to the core of history that they try to write against some because of about this skin color. Everything, even try to erase the history of it out of existence. They were just a figment of imagination. We have did everything to right. I said that is a serious. When you try to erase the characters, knowing that they were darker complected, and the scientists and the biologists, the geologists know this. And the same ones try to do the same thing. That's why I made a video. If God make them just do, there's gonna be. I'm telling you, this is gonna sound hilarious. Nobody don't want to be around black people. They have did everything they have done against black people. I mean, look at you. They see them on the news. They're scared. They don't know. They don't want to be around them yet, but they want their money. You got this group of people want to get money, but they can't stand them. You got this group of people that like the way this, but they can't stand them. You got this group of people. It's like, it's almost like make up your damn mind. So when black people say, okay, I'm tired of going around this merry-go-round. Wait a minute. We want you to stay on the merry-go-round. You're good entertainment. We need you. But we don't like you. What you mean? No, we don't want you in the family. No, we don't want you in the neighborhood. No, we don't want you. We really don't. And why you wear your hair like that? Why are you so dark? What is about you? Why do you keep dancing the way you do? What is about you? It's crazy, ain't it? And it's like, okay, I'm trying to separate. Why we're separating? Because you put me. It's like a relationship. You want me to do this and go through this and go through this. It's like I'm trying to remove myself away from you. Wait a minute. You won't be able to entertain me no more. I watch you guys on the football field, the basketball court. I love the way you dance. My kids looking at you. But again, I hate you. Some of you you're despicable with your music and your low riding pants. And what's with the gold? And why do you wear your hair the way you do? Why you guys talk the way you do? Next thing you know, they mimicking the way they do. Next thing they do, they put injections in their lips. They got pills that they can darken their skin. They love it. They like to take they take musical groups and mimic and do the style and teach them how to do the style. Ooh, they can dance. Ooh, woo, woo. Oh, I just love the way they do their hair. The women do their hair. Next thing you know, they doing the same thing, but they hate the individual. It's insane, ain't it? I don't know. It's like, okay, so when black people say, so someone like the Grandmaster Jay or someone said, we want to separate. Wait, why you want to separate? Martin Luther King didn't want us to separate. You killed Luther King. Because you said, no, we can't have these blacks in our neighborhood. They're going to break down the value. we don't want separate water fountains. I mean, they better not get in the pool. They got to take their food and walk around the restaurant. They're just depressed. Why are they walking down the street? Is he going? What's he doing, man? Help you? And you got to deal with this. And this is from the past to the present. Now you guys say, do you live here? Why are you in the block? And you're like, man, I'm just going to the store. This is what black people got to go through. So it's a police. Oh yeah, we got a call out here that you were breathing and walking down the street. What are you doing, breathing, walking down in this neighborhood? What I'm doing, I'm breathing, walking down this neighborhood. No, we don't have no black people around here. We talk about me. I thought we had it 20. Well, somebody should have kind of told you. Well, so where you come from? What is your name? Where you about to go to? Why are you getting hostile with me? Come here. Stop listening. And somebody, yes, killed him. And you're wondering why. You wonder black people. So it's like, okay, now we got them under control. Now they fear. Now they mad. Now it's got to be paying justice. And it's like you're trying to control the puppet strings. And you don't think that we're not going to figure this out. They're black. They're low hanging fruit. They don't know that we're holding them up. And keep this other one, keep the Andre who has the 3 or 4 degrees, and I know his people, and I'm, he's my favorite black person, and he has, he's very intelligent among them. Wait a minute, I like Andre now. Now this guy Andre, he's a Republican. And he's saying the right thing, that you guys are bad. You guys do this. You guys got too much, because you guys get all that stuff. They have no business. I'm a white man, and I can't get a job. My wife just left me for a black dude. My kids getting beat up for being called honky. What am I supposed to do? This is what it's like, wow. So they pile all this up. So when black people say, okay, if we that much problem to you, we're going to remove ourselves. Remove yourself? I mean, what you mean remove yourself? No, we all together. Martin Luther King, you remember the civil rights? Remember? Remember the 60s? We shall overcome one day. Remember? Remember? And then, yeah, I remember the horrible thing. No, come on, stop bringing up that past. Slavery's over. I didn't own no slaves. You guys much had a time? Okay, so despite 20, 30 black people's death, but you guys are ahead of time. Well, if you guys start, and then you have people that advise you on what to do. Well, if you guys just pick yourself by your bootstraps. Okay, so you pick up by the bootstraps. Why you pick up by your bootstraps? Why you want your neighborhood? You say pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You want us to get us off the welfare. This is the everyday situation that some person who does that? Okay, we're going to remove her and build our own neighborhood. Build your own neighborhoods. And white people, why you want to get away from white people? Cool. You just, because you afraid. I'm gonna break it to your home, rape your daughter, cause you saw something on TV, and you got Johnny the rescue officer plays Rambo and hero, chokes the person out, because they saved and kept the neighborhood safe. And in fact, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about looking at the texture of their hair in their school. Why can't they just look like the way I want them to look like them? I remember when we could tell them what to dress like. I remember when they was just black. I remember when we could just put them in as servers. I can remember when we put them as, they were just such good obedient colored people. What happened to those colored people? They were some good colored people, weren't they? This is what you say. And then you, at one point, you thinking that, what's wrong with them? Now they being no ends. Well, look at what you think you're smarter than me. No, you're an end. This is what they say. This is what they display. So it's like, fine, I get the message. I'm backing up. We're gonna love our own people. We're gonna create our own thing. Send somebody. Why do they want to do this? Why do they want to create their own stuff? Why are you worried about what they want to separate themselves? Well, ain't that being biased and segregation? The other groups of people are already doing it. I mean, every group of people who do it because they feel comfortable around the people who speak their language. And you got other people say, speak English, damn it. I don't understand that language you talk about. You've been in America how long? You can't win, you can't lose with people. So, all that to say that this came off of the blood. The first group of people right now is the bloodshed. Continuously, a high number of rated people is black people. They're changing laws. And how other people are dying from different ailments, drug, alcohol, was in the rural area, the suburb. Yeah, I get it. But the torturous, egregious, most unimaginable death happens to blacks. Not but I mean egregious. I'm talking about something out of this world that I don't even see animals get killed. The way how some black people get killed. Like, dang, that's some serious hatred, barbarian hatred. And it boggles the mind that somebody would do something egregious that's so demonic that you hate somebody that much. To the point that you're trying to figure out the way to wipe them out so you can replace them. You can replace them from history, from their past, rewrite their past, rewrite so you can keep them out of the present, stop their future. So you're trying to rewrite the past, stop them in ways in the present, so they don't be more in the future. That's some seriously demonic stuff, and you do it through something satanic, and say that I don't like these people. Why? Because even though their skin is bothering me, their hair texture, their lips, and something. It's something about these, and they don't even know what to make of it. I'm jealous at these people because they got the athletic ability. Because they can sing, they can dance, they have the articulate up there. But I can't stand these people. They on TV all the time. Then I see someone that go to the doggone store. Why they gotta do the way? Now you got my kid trying to imitate them. It's crazy. Everything what I'm saying is true. Everything what I'm saying, the display is like, well, damn, it's just some. Why are you trying to? Who got the serious mental illness here? Who really got the serious mental illness? That's trying to go through all that when it's so when someone come along with the solution, they say right now we have a serious problem among the African American community. Right now, we just need to divest and degrade and build each other up and figure out what is going on. Why we got this much animosity and beat down and hatred towards one another? Why are we going through these things? Wait a minute. Why are you separating? Because there's something going on. So we should get spiritually healed. Spiritually healed. Are you leaving Jesus? I'm spiritually remove myself from you. Why? Where you going? Where they going? Are they going to need a football team? Who I'm going to root for? Who I'm going to basketball with? Am I lying? It's either you can't or you can't. Who we going to benefit the bloodshed off of? Either you can or you can't. So we can zap you or whatever God put on the black man, the black woman, black child. So we can emulate it. That's what Satan try to emulate God. Emulate it. I can't whoop God, so I'm going to have to emulate God. And it's something about God that he has to emulate. And Satan did his part to make his own part of the kingdom. He got his own army, like God has his own army. Satan did the same thing. He said, I can't whoop him. And then look where this pattern of behavior came from. That's all what I'm saying. Look at this is a saying. This is how a sick man has got down to. Now you don't like somebody try to come up with a solution to remove the situation. You go around them, you hear some part about them, and you hate them. And then when you hate them, you try to destroy them. And they ain't did nothing to, so you have to make up a fabrication to destroy them. And then when it's dubbed up that you're trying to destroy them in some way, wait a minute. Well, we're going to determine since it wasn't me particularly, since it wasn't me and I didn't participate, But yet you got the rich, you got the gold, the rich off of it. But yet you don't want to take accountability. And then when someone said, this should be accountability. Wait a minute, you can't make me do this accountability. Okay, then remember that same Christian Bible and how that every story that plays out about the Pharaoh. And everybody remember when they see it around Easter time. Remember, Pharaoh hardened up his heart. I ain't listening to what God say. I ain't gonna treat these people right. They's gonna be my slaves. I ain't gonna let them go. I'm gonna hold on. They're gonna worship my call. They're gonna worship me, and they're gonna worship my God. I'm gonna take their spirituality away from them, and I can determine what and there's too many of them. I can control them. I can control their destiny. I'll kill most of the kids off, and I'll kill most of their baby off. This is what the Pharaoh of that time did, and many people people who followed the pharaohs in Egypt when they had the children of Israel. This is what you don't understand. That there's something higher that God put a people into the earth. And someone's trying to determine another human being based on their culture, based on their skin. I own you for 300 or 400 years, and I think you should be entitled to be under my fragility. In fact, no, you don't get to leave the land. And if I come, I'm gonna find out where you at, and instead, well, we over here. Hey, why do you just stay over there? Okay, the whole point of it is you stay over there, and I'm over here. No, we can't let you go. Why can't you let me go? Oh, I don't know. You're black. Okay? Your skin. Why you gotta wear that skin? Goes right back to that stuff again. You got the music over there. You listen to the hip hop rap stuff. What is about that? You got the R&B music. By the way, I like James Brown. By the way. Why would you? Okay, you like James Brown. Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. But it has to be at the sacrifice and death of these great black people. And they're trying to do it. And the only people that have been under this great persecution this long, even though others have persecution continually to try to kill off, is the black man and black woman who choose to procreate and bring future black children to the planet. And they're trying to find every reason to try to destroy them. Destroy them from their past, erase their past, destroy their present, stop their future. That's one of the nationalities they're trying to do. And I said about 5, 6, 10 different ways they're trying to do it. That's a fact. Look at other videos. Look at the cases that keep happening. Why does this thing keep happening over and over and over and over? That's why. We're the people. Clearly, we're the people. No other people have keep going through this over and over and over, based on skin, based on the color of your skin. Think about the cycle. Oh, there's something about you. You black. You're even wearing black. Ooh. What the hell is wrong with you? See, and they got their rights too. Yeah, but you maneuvered, came back another way back in the back door. And you think we were gonna figure this out? Hello? Revive the Clyde. So, but this is the politics, and on label the politics, organizations, and why separation. This would be the title of my video. It's kind of long, but what I'm saying to you is the reason why. What's going on? Why so much violence, protesting, death, and everything? This covers the whole range of things of what's going on right now in the earth, in the United States, and elsewhere. What you see, you experiencing it because of sacrifice of blood. And people are benefiting if they have to use someone that look like one of us to do it. And as long as they can get the accolades, they're good. They agree with the devil to destroy the rest of us. That's a fact. And if you don't believe me, like I said, let God show you. All right, till next time, you guys be blessed.